Your vote is your voice. Every vote counts. Young voters like you and me count up for half of the voting population. So let's go out there and vote and show the older generation that we care about our future too.
Vote to honor those who struggled for civil rights, for women's suffrage, for justice for all, for those who have struggled to get us to where we are now.
Democracy cannot work without citizen participation. Voting in local elections is important because it affects the economy, infrastructure, and social policies in our community.
Voting puts you in charge of your future.
The future is now, and we have the power to change it with our votes.
To all my fellow students who cannot vote, listen up. Do not disregard this message thinking you don't have an influence in the elections. Encourage family, friends, and everyone you meet to vote. Help others register to vote. Volunteer on a candidate's campaign. Educate others about the issues you care about.
Being election ready is easy. All you have to do is go on mdc.edu/vote. You can register to vote, you can check your voter registration status, you can even get sample ballots. You can also find voter guides to learn about the candidates and the amendments.
Let's now learn some more about the local and primary elections happening on August 18th. On August 18th, we will have both a local election and a primary election. The local election will be when we vote for county mayor, county commissioners, school board, and many other positions that are nonpartisan, which means you can vote for any candidate regardless of party affiliation. August 18th is also the primary election, which means we vote for representatives within our own party affiliations for state senate, state representatives, and U.S. House of Representatives. It's also important to keep track of all election deadlines. July 20th is the deadline to register to vote to be eligible to vote in the August 18th election. August 8th is the deadline to request your vote by mail ballot. August 3rd through 16th is early voting, and August 18th is Election Day. For more information, visit mdc.edu/vote. Now we're going to hear from our partners at Engage Miami, and they're going to go deeper into what these elections are all about.
With that, let's talk about this year's elections. So I have a little rhyme to make it easier to remember this. In Florida, we remember, vote in August and November. Again, in Florida, we remember, vote in August and November. In Miami-Dade County, our mayor represents the entire county, and our 13 district commissioners each represent a specific commission district. To find your commissioner, go to miamidade.gov/commission. Together, these 14 people make decisions that directly affect things such as affordable housing, transportation, and infrastructure, making this year's elections crucial to Miami's future. Floridians will be choosing 27 representatives to speak on our behalf in Washington, D.C., where they will introduce bills, offer amendments, and much more. At the same time, the state of Florida has a state legislature made up of 40 senators and 120 representatives. Their job is to research, write, and pass legislation, as well as keeping a governor in check and generally representing us at the state level. This year, we will be choosing all 120 of our state representatives and half of our state senators. Our greatest strength is not only in voting for president, but voting for everyone who has a say in our government every single chance we get. November 3rd is our presidential election, which most of us probably already know about because it's all over the news. This is a very important year in elections. The winners of these races will be representing Floridians to the rest of the country and writing the laws that we live by for a very long time. With the recent coronavirus pandemic, it's understandable that you wouldn't want to stand in line for several hours with a bunch of other strangers just to go vote. But there are ways to avoid this. Please remember that early voting sites at MDC North and MDC Kendall may be available up to 2 weeks before an election for early voting. There is usually no line at all. I went, there was no one there, in and out in 2 minutes. With Vote by Mail, you can receive your ballot in advance at home by requesting it at least 10 days before the election. You can take your time to do your research, fill out your ballot in your pajamas, send it back with the prepaid postage. We recommend at least a week before the election day. One last time, in Florida, we remember, vote in August and November.